And when can we expect the first results to emerge?
We can expect the first trends to come in about the next 20 to 30 minutes here in Colombia when some of the first exit polls are released. Turnout has been unusually high across Colombia, and this is an unusual factor because usually high abstention rates rule the day in Colombian elections. So at most polling stations around the country, there's been higher volumes of people turning out to vote. And in one of the biggest polling stations in Bogota, where I was earlier, there was huge queues starting to form well before the polls opened at 8 a.m. And I think this reflects the historic nature of this vote because they're the first elections to be held, presidential elections to be held in this country since the historic peace agreement with the FARC in 2016. And a lot of people want to have their say on this very topic. And the candidates, the 5 candidates that are running in this election, have had very different approaches to this topic, and it's sort of divided the Colombian people. Colombia is quite a polarized country. A lot of people said it would be more united after the peace deal, and in fact what we've seen is it's growing further apart.
Dimitri, get your crystal ball out. Who's likely to make it to the second round?
Well, 2 candidates have been leading the opinion polls pretty much from the off since March. They are Iván Duque, who's from the Center Democratic Party. He's the self-appointed heir to former President Alvaro Uribe, and he represents the business and economic class here in Colombia. He's been leading by about 41% according to the last opinion poll. He wants to revive the economy by lowering taxes for businesses and boosting oil production, and he's going to take a hardline stance against the FARC and the peace agreement. His challenger is someone very new in Colombia. He is Gustavo Petro from the left, and he's trying to become Colombia's first ever leftist president, and he's been doing quite well. He's captured the hearts and minds of the marginalized voter. He's seen as the anti-establishment candidate. He's pro the peace deal, and he takes a different business and economic model to Duque. Instead of oil and gas exports, he wants agricultural reform and boost production of avocados, not oil and gas. So they're very different visions of how they see Colombia in the future, and it reflects again this very divided country that is between left and right here.
Whoever wins, the results are likely to have an effect on the peace accord. Why is Colombia still so divided on this particular issue?
Most people are very divided because they don't want the FARC representing anyone, the public, in Congress, and this emerged in the local elections in March. Iván Duque really has been representing the majority taking Congress, and they feel that the FARC have got off too lightly with the deal that was signed in 2016. So Duque wants to modify the agreement, and he wants greater justice for victims, whereas the other candidates, the other 4, including Gustavo Petro, are saying that actually the agreement should stand as it is. It should be implemented, and the FARC should be reintegrated into society. But it's been a very tumultuous time for the FARC. Timochenko, the ex-FARC commander, voted today for the first time in the elections, and of course he had to pull out. He was intending to run as a candidate, but pulled out due to ill health. But he had very little support, negligible support, less than 1%.